EOM Business Network. So much for one broadcast.
Hello everyone, it's another beautiful day and thank you very much for joining us. You're watching the EOM Business Network, indeed the voice of corporate Nigeria. I am Olorogo Elkanah Mawari. Today on the program, we shall be taking a look at the Nigerian economy from the viewpoint of industry operators. Also on the lineup is Let's Talk, and we'll be taking a look at Davidono Microfinance Bank Limited, now known as DD Microfinance Bank Limited. On Spot On, we shall continue our expose on Meadowhawk Group, an integrated world-class educational services solutions provider in Africa. And on the face-to-face is a visionary, versatile, and result-oriented industry captain, Kennedy Okorua, who is the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Pentagon Real Estate Investment Nigeria Limited, a frontline real estate firm in Nigeria. It's a package you'll love to watch. Sit back as we bring you the details. Research reports have shown that any country that desires capacity and quality to enhance productivity for economic growth and development must give adequate attention to human capital. Temitope Oyeleye is the Chief Executive Officer of TBO Consulting.
Things have changed dramatically in the last 5 years, and things keep evolving. Yeah, we've had in the last few years AI, that's artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, cybersecurity, quantum computing, virtual reality, augmented reality, edge computing, the advent of 5G, blockchain technology, and so on and so forth. And with major developments and advancements in technology trends in the last couple of years, you can expect faster and greater developments in the foreseeable future. And safe to say that keeping an eye or out for these trends no longer remains the sole necessity, even for IT professionals. Is for everybody. Technology has transformed the way the finance sector operates in Nigeria. You hardly see people, go to the bank again, and a lot of transactions are done online real time now, and we have a lot of fintech companies out there doing phenomenal things. So, a whole lot has happened, and you can see that the financial inclusion in Nigeria keeps improving. The percentage and the rate keep improving almost on a monthly basis. And the technology has really transformed the way, the finance sector is being run, and a whole lot of things. It's something we can sit here and talk about all day, the way, technology has transformed the financial sector. Yeah, but pretty good, positive so far.
We are called TBO Consulting, Technology Consulting Integrated Services. TBO Consulting, call us now. TBO, reinvent, thrive. John Ologe, a chartered accountant and finance expert, is the managing director of Davidono Microfinance Bank Limited, now known as DD Microfinance Bank Limited.
The new logo actually came into existence as a result of certain difficulties we had with the old logo and the name. The name called Davidono Microfinance Bank. Oftentimes, our customers find it difficult to pronounce. Some of them say Davido, Davidat, and even among colleagues, they find it a bit difficult to pronounce very well. So, at some point, we thought that we should give it a new face, make it easier for our stakeholders to be able to have an easy pronunciation, and particularly when the bank is growing. So we felt the need that we should come up with something a bit more easy for the customers and our other stakeholders to pronounce. That's what informs the new logo. In the history of any organization, changes are inevitable. We started with the name Dabudani, like I told you, but over time, we felt the need to streamline and make it easier. Like you have a Guaranty Trust Bank those days. Today you just hear GT Bank, which is an easier version to pronounce. Everybody can pronounce GT Bank. Nobody bothers anymore about Guaranty Trust. You talk about United Bank of Africa. Everybody talks about UBA today. You talk about First Bank of Nigeria. Everybody talk about FBN today. So it's normal for us to change from Dabudani to DD Microfinance Bank as part of our growth trajectory. DDMFB, which is of course Dabudani Microfinance Bank, was initially known as CAM Microfinance Bank. The initial investors' name was CAM Microfinance Bank. Sometime in 2014, some new set of investors came, acquired the old banks, and changed the name. New directors came in, new management came in, and then we transformed the bank from what it used to be as CAM Microfinance Bank to Dabudani Microfinance Bank, which is today known as DD Microfinance Bank. When we acquired, it was a Unity Microfinance Bank, late 2014. We took off effectively by 2015. By 2016, we applied to CBN to also transform from a Unity Microfinance Bank to a State Microfinance Bank. That was 2016. And that enables us to open branches across Lagos State, as opposed to when we were operating from one particular location, which was then a Unity Microfinance Bank. Dabudani Microfinance Bank, today known as DD Microfinance, is actually a state, has become a state microfinance bank with 10 branches in different strategic locations in the state, with a staff strength of over 150 people. I wouldn't say that we have really achieved all that we intend to achieve. Dabudani Microfinance, known today as DD Microfinance Bank, has a vision to become one of the most sought after microfinance bank in Lagos State, and in due course either transform to a national microfinance bank or a regional commercial bank. We are quite intentional about our strategies. You know that there are a lot of challenges in the business environment as it affects microfinance bank, but our strategies and models are clearly distinct from some other microfinance bank, and it's those strategies that are sustain us. Our commitment to our set goals also has played a significant part, in achieving the modest achievement that we have recorded so far is as a result of determination.
Meadowhall Group, welcome to our world. Meadowhall School was founded by Dr. Mrs. Kehinde Nwani in July 2002. The group is built on a clear corporate vision and positioned to achieve it through the enriching opportunities provided by its sub-brands. Valentine Halim is the Chief Operating Officer of Meadowhall Group.
Dr. Nwani, our Chief Executive Officer, and we call her when you have a vision, we call her the visionary, because she came in with the idea some 20 years ago, and we are driving that vision. And the vision is to educate people and spread knowledge. Meadowhall has grown from a little school in Lekki to this permanent site, and it's still growing in terms of population, maybe like 50 students to over 1,000 by 1,004, and it keeps on growing. So at Meadowhall Education, we are focused on the British as well as the Nigerian curriculum. So most of our students are very good, and they take all the foreign exams, and they are excelling abroad.
Olayinka Obafisoye is head of school, Meadowhall Group.
I started my teaching career over 2 decades ago as an A-level teacher. So from there, I moved on to British education. We've had to relearn a lot of things, and we've had to, go through a lot of new learnings. At some point in my career, I left Nigeria for England, was there for a decade, and all I did was teach, and I've learned a lot. And I came back to Nigeria to Meadowhall because I was here at the beginning when Meadowhall started. I was the first year 4 teacher. There weren't any year 5s, there weren't any year 6s or college. All we had then was we had the infant school through to year 4, and I was that teacher. And we've grown, and so have I. Was in England for a decade, came back to Meadowhall as the leader, and have had to learn that there's a massive difference between being an outstanding teacher and being a leader. Our GMD and CEO of the Meadowhall Group, Dr. Kehinde Olusola, I always describe her as an embodiment of leadership. I've been under a tutelage, under a mentorship, and I look back at the beginning of my leadership career and where I'm at now, and I would say that I've come a long way. I still have a long way to go, but when I look back, I'm grateful to God, I'm grateful to her, to my family, the Meadowhall family. I've grown in leaps and bounds, and so have Meadowhall staff. So where we're at today, we can only give God the glory. It has been a very good journey, but it hasn't been one that we've embarked on without Christ.
Chibuzo Iwobi is head of Meadowhall Foundation.
We have projects like Sponsor a Child. This was started because of the hardship people were facing post-COVID lockdown. Prices of things went up, and I thought, how can we assist our families, the students of the families at Elason Nigerian Primary School? So that's a project where we take care of the children every day by feeding them and paying their dues. We have trainings that are free for teachers and webinars that encompass various topics, and not just topics that's centered in classroom management, but topics that make teachers holistic individuals, because if there are aspects of your life that are lacking a bit, it affects other aspects of life as well. So the next event we have coming up is the Hope Alive concert. It's an idea, the brainchild of one of our students who's trying to raise money for the less privileged students by using art, music, dance to raise money. And we also have a Christmas party coming up for our students at Elason Nigerian Primary School.
Yinka Falade is head of Meadowhall Consult.
Meadowhall Consult is the arm of Meadowhall Group that is dedicated to its vision of raising the standard and quality of education service providers. The founder of Meadowhall Group, Dr. Kehinde, is passionate about education and actually believe that every Nigerian child should have best of education. But because we couldn't be in every place at every time, so Meadowhall Consult is set up to provide services that will help teachers, school leaders, and school to be better. Some of our services include training and workshop. We are very known for this. I'm very sure if you mention teacher training in Nigeria, Meadowhall Consult will always come out as one of the best. Aside that, we also provide school setup service for new schools. For schools that have been in a system, we provide school assessment and audits for them, where we identify issues the school is currently facing and we come up with solutions and how they can be better. We also develop business plan for new schools as well, and we involve in general business advisory and consulting.
Wumi Ojeshina is acting registrar, Meadowhall College of Education.
The programs are fully online, but the exams are hybrid. That's depending on what the students want. If they want the exams to be practical, they get practical. And if they want them to be online, they get online, depending on their convenience. We usually carry out a survey before the exams for us to know which mode of exams, but it's largely and fully online for the convenience of the students who are working. And the teaching practice, which of course is practical in the sense that they have to go to the centers, but then the teaching practice centers are spread across the country. They're in multiple locations, so they can choose wherever is near to where they are. We run the National Certificate in Education, which is NCE, because for it to be a college of education, it was approved initially by the National Commission on Colleges of Education and the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. So the National Commission on Colleges of Education is basically for NCE. So we run the NCE, and then we run the programs approved by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, which are the professional diplomas in education. PDE, the professional diploma in education, the teaching faculty, half of them are outside. They are from basically University of Lagos. And then we have the remaining half also here, Meadowhall School, who take the students through.
Hello there, this is Meadowhall Group. Welcome to our world. We are driven by our vision to be pacesetters in innovation and in the provision of outstanding education in Africa. Come and join us. Meadowhall Group, committed to excellence. Davo Daniel Microfinance Bank Limited, now known as DDMFB. Davo Daniel Microfinance Bank Limited. Call us now. Kennedy Okoruwa, a visionary, versatile, and result-oriented industry captain, is the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Pentagon Real Estate Investment Nigeria Limited, a frontline real estate firm in Nigeria.
Pentagon Real Estate Investment Nigeria Limited is a company that was born out of a vision to fit into the solution to the problem of lack of affordable housing. Over the years, we have seen the shortage in the housing sector. And one of the biggest challenges we have had in the Nigeria environment, creating a sustainable environment, is that Nigeria has not been a place that people want to be proud of. That means it's not a country that have deliberately created its environment that both we as Nigerians can be proud of and other developing countries or developed countries can be proud of. Nature is an art of God, but environment is the art of man. We know that God has given us the geographical location of Nigeria, but whatever environment we create out of it is up to us. It is what we have decided to, envision and create deliberately is what we see as an environment. So, looking at the environment that we have created over the years as a nation, if you want to compare that to the international developed countries across the world, you will refer to greater part of our environment as slums. Even where we celebrate as the best of the best in Nigeria are regarded as slums in some of the developed countries. So it became a vision to drive and create sustainable environment. So it was a vision many, many years ago to create an organization that would conceptualize sustainable environment. And the definition of sustainable environment is the kind of an environment that is meeting the need of Nigerians today and that will meet the need of Nigerians 50 years time. That means environment that is relevant today and that will be relevant in the next 50 years. An environment that have the facilities and infrastructures to sustain life for both the rich and the poor today, and that will also be able to sustain life in the next 50 years. The kind of environment that will not be relegated by times or by the incoming and the growth of the nation. So it's an environment that you deliberately create and develop. Pentagon was born with a vision to find a solution of creating sustainable environment to the needs of Nigeria some years ago. Pentagon was born over 15 years ago, and the vision is to be a first-class Pan-Africa real estate player. Being a first-class Pan-Africa real estate player is to provide affordable housing and sustainable houses. And playing in that space is to ensure that we achieve that back home here in Nigeria, and then take it beyond the border of Nigeria, because Africa as a continent is a large space that we can continue to play in the next few years, and there is so much, to be done. So Pentagon is born with that vision of playing as a first-class Pan-Africa real estate corporation, and we have seen that as a target, over the years that we must achieve, even though we cannot 100% say that we are there now, but it's what brought us to life as a vision. And then the mission is to constantly be a catalyst to the provision of affordable housing development in excellent locations. We've seen the needs, and we constantly want to imbibe the attitude and character that will help us to build sustainable environment and community. This is what has been our pursuit and our vision over the years. So the mission is our driving force, over the years, to ensure that the little things we have achieved, we do that by creating these sustainable communities. This is the vision and the mission of Pentagon, and over the years we have pursued that. Percentage of achievement, maybe I would say that over the years it's a little bit still far from the targets, so we're below 50, because with the vision we've had, we haven't been able to achieve even 50% of what we have said we're going to achieve. So, and I would say that in the last 15 years we have succeeded in rehearsing. We have rehearsed successfully in the last 15 years, and I think that we are set now, to really run the way we ought to run. So in the last 15 years, we have seen the ups and downs of driving a sustainable organization in Nigeria, looking at the economy and also the environment over the years. At least we can speak categorically of the things that will enable us to achieve these feats that we have set out to achieve. So even though we have not been able to achieve so much of what we have designed to do, but we have seen that as a possibility that in the next few years, the next 15 years, certainly we should be able to have hit about 80% of our target. Pentagon is an organization that was born with the concept of designing affordable housing and the associated infrastructure. So we conceptualize real estate environment. We build communities. So it begins with the concept of the kind of community we want to build. All right. So, and the kind of houses that are going to be built in that community, the kind of infrastructure that will come with it. So we begin with envisioning. That's what I call the concept. In defining the concept of the kind of real estate community we want to develop. So, and when we have defined that concept, we design it. So we go to the next level to design. So we are a company that is into real estate project conceptualization, and then we also we design the houses and the infrastructures that we want to do there. And then after the design, we go into the construction. If the project is not as heavy as it should be, we have internal team that undertakes those projects. Pentagon is an encompassing organization that conceptualize, design, and construct. So we interpret what we have designed. And if we are not able to do that, we synergize with other professionals outside the organization to see that what we have envisioned comes to pass. And then sometimes we market our product, what we have built. Where it is necessary, we facilitate financing. We're able to look at the possibility of looking at groups of people that will be interested in what we have developed, where they are having shortcomings or limitations in accessing fund to purchase what we have developed. We can help them to facilitate access to a short-term stroke long-term funding to buy the houses. So these are the things we do.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Hello there, my name is Kennedy Okoruwa. I am the CEO of Pentagon Real Estate Investment Limited. I want to say to you all that there's no doubt about the fact that 2022 has been a very difficult year. But in spite of all the difficulties, God has been faithful to us. We want to thank every one of you that has been a great support to us, our strengths and partners. I want to say thank you all for believing in us and being part of our dreams. I'd like to say Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2023 a year ahead to every of our esteemed clients. And from all of us at Pentagon Real Estate Investment Nigeria Limited, we say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. Thank you and God bless you all.
And this is where we bring down the curtains on today's package of the EOM Business Network. Thank you very much for spending your valued time with us. We hope it was worth your while. But just in case you missed out on any aspect of it, then you can come with us to any of our feedback portals as you can see on the screen. Our deep gratitude to you, our sponsors, for your continued interest and support. Always remember, with you and us, we are champs. Oh yes, I remain Olorogo Elkanah Mowari. Please, let's do this again, same time, same channel next week. We'll see you then.